The curse of the forgotten tribe deep within the heart of the Congo Basin, hidden from the prying eyes of modern civilization, lay the village of Nkama. It was a place shrouded in mystery, where ancient traditions dictated the rhythm of life, and where outsiders were seldom welcomed for centuries. The villagers spoke in hushed tones about the forgotten tribe, a legendary clan that had vanished into the jungle generations ago. Some said they had been cursed for betraying the gods, while others believed they had become spirits that haunted the land. But no one dared to seek the truth till Daniel Okafor arrived. Daniel was an ambitious anthropologist, driven by a thirst for knowledge and discovery. When he received a cryptic letter from an unknown sender, claiming to have information about the forgotten tribe, he knew he had to investigate. The letter warned him not to speak of his journey and to come alone. It was signed with a symbol one he recognized from ancient carvings found deep in the jungle. He set out on his journey with nothing but his notebook, a flashlight, and an old map believed to lead to the tribe's last known location. The deeper he ventured into the jungle, the more he felt the weight of unseen eyes watching him. The air was thick with humidity and an eerie silence, broken only by the distant calls of nocturnal creatures. After days of trekking, he stumbled upon an abandoned village. The structures were overgrown with vines, and strange markings adorned the walls. It was as if time had frozen the place in an eternal state of decay. At the center of the village stood a massive totem, its carved face twisted in an expression of agony. As he examined the totem, he noticed something unsettling, a fruit's offering of fruits and blood at its base. Someone had been here recently. That night, as he set up camp near the ruins, he heard it. Drums, a slow, rhythmic pounding that echoed through the trees, growing louder with every beat. Daniel grabbed his flashlight, his heart hammering in his chest. Shadows flickered between the trees, figures moving just beyond the reach of his light. Then the whispers began, low, guttural voices speaking in a language he could not understand. He turned frantically, but there was no one there. Yet the whispers grew louder, forming a chant that sent chills down his spine. Suddenly, an arrow whizzed past his ear, embedding itself into a tree inches from his head. He spun around to see figures emerging from the darkness, tall, adorned in elaborate tribal masks, their bodies painted with intricate symbols. He moved with a ghostly grace, their eyes glowing faintly in the dim light. Before he could react, a sharp pain exploded in the back of his head, and darkness consumed him. When Daniel awoke, he found himself in a cavernous chamber, lit by flickering torches. The air was thick with the scent of burning herbs and something else, something metallic. Blood. He was surrounded by figures in ceremonial attire, their faces obscured by masks. At the center of the chamber stood an elder, his presence commanding, and his gaze piercing even through the shadows. "You have trespassed on sacred ground," the elder intoned, his voice deep and resonant. "Why have you come?" Daniel, despite his fear, spoke with as much calm as he could muster. "Seek the truth about the forgotten tribe." Murmurs rippled through the gathered figures. "Kid," the elder's expression darkened. "The truth is not meant for outsiders." He gestured, and two warriors stepped forward, gripping Daniel by the arms. "You must leave. But first, you must understand." He was led through a tunnel that opened into a vast underground temple, its walls adorned with carvings depicting scenes of ritual and war. At the far end stood an enormous stone statue of a creature with elongated limbs and hollow eyes. At its feet lay bones, hundreds of them. The forgotten tribe did not vanish, the elder said. They were consumed. Daniel's breath caught in his throat as he realized the meaning behind the words. The tribe had not been lost to history. They had been sacrificed to what? He asked, his voice barely a whisper. The elder's gaze lifted to the statue, the one who waits. A gust of wind howled through the chamber, though there was no opening for it to enter. The torches flickered violently, casting grotesque shadows on the walls. The ritual must never be completed. Again, the elder continued. But there are those who wish to awaken it. Daniel's mind raced. Could this be why he had been lured here? Was someone trying to revive the ancient rites? Before he could ask more, the ground trembled. A deep, guttural growl resonated from the depths of the temple. The villagers tensed, their hands gripping their weapons. It is awake, the elder whispered. Chaos erupted. The villagers began chanting, forming a protective circle around the statue. Daniel was shoved toward the exit. Go, the elder commanded. Do not look back. But Daniel hesitated. He turned just in time to see the shadows coalesce into a monstrous form, its hollow eyes burning with unnatural light. The last thing he heard was a deafening roar as he fled into the jungle, the screams of the villagers echoing behind him. Days later, he emerged from the forest, his clothes torn and his mind haunted. He had found the forgotten tribe, but he had also uncovered something that should have remained buried as he boarded his plane back home. Couldn't shake the feeling that something had followed him. That night, as he lay in his hotel room, he heard it once more. Drums, a slow, rhythmic pounding that echoed from the darkness.